Hey, Gen X, remember how we were groomed to believe that the welfare state was a horrible thing? Like in the 80s and 90s, it was just anytime they said the welfare state, it was always like, oh, just this, like they were talking about hell, this horrible thing. You can imagine how incredibly confused I was when I watched this episode of Doctor Who.
You lot, lots to do. Beat the Germans, save the world. Don't forget the welfare state.
Beat the Germans, save the world. Don't forget about the welfare state. You say that like it's not a bad thing, like it may be even something wonderful. So Doctor Who sent me on a trip back through time, not through the TARDIS, but through education and reading some history. Turns out, just like that episode of Doctor Who, The Doctor Dances, the seeds of the welfare state were planted in the midst of World War II. See, during the Blitz, the social inequities had become something that no one could ignore or pretend wasn't happening. While less affluent Brits were trying to survive the Blitz either under a piece of corrugated metal in their backyard or down in the subway stations, the rich were down in bomb shelters under the Savoy or out at their country home somewhere safe away from all those bombs. And at first, they wouldn't even let them into the subway stations because they were afraid that people would learn how to share and organize and become communists. But that's a whole other story. You can look it up. Anyway, the war had made the social inequities very obvious. And on top of that, they felt like, you know what, we need to give people a reason to be fighting this war. Why is it that Great Britain is better than Germany? I know, like the Holocaust was reason enough, but they wanted to give their citizens another reason. So even as the war was raging, the government commissioned a report. How should they build back better after the war? They put together a committee of civil servants from all the different areas of the government, the Treasury, health, labor. Head of the committee was William Beveridge, a economist and a liberal politician, and he was really kind of the visionary for this, and it came to be known as the Beveridge Report. There's some cool details, so I'm going to make a part two.